What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is Wednesday morning, Wednesday, March 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. at my man Nut Flush Allen's work at Pepsi headquarters in California. Shout out to my man Nut Flush Allen watching right now. We have a big stack day today. We have Drew Martin joining us in about 45 minutes to break down this NCAA basketball card. The tourney got off to a great start. A lot of exciting stuff going on. We have only 4 games in the NHL, and we have 9 games in the NBA. On the late show, Jay Money is Money will be joining us to break down the NBA card further, and Maxwell Smart will be joining us to hammer the NCAA basketball card further. Now, it was a rough day. It was a rough day. As soon as Letang was announced for the Penguins, I would have been able to get under my limit to take the Hurricanes just to win the game, and that would have given me an even day in NHL. Unfortunately, it was a losing day in NHL for me, and that's becoming a bit of the norm, unfortunately. I had those 2 6-0 days over the last 2 weeks, but other than that, it just seems like I'm dropping a unit here or there every night, and it's very bothersome. But I'm pumped. We have a huge card today. We have a great group of cappers in the chat already. Shout out to Joe Richmond Ramirez. Says, morning cappers, I'm on Boston. Boston going for the season sweep of the Sixers. He's on the over 216 in the Rockets game. We're going to have no Eric Gordon for the Rockets. Who else? We don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if D'Antoni decides to sit somebody else. And the Mavs plus 10. Mavs on the road. I'm surprised you're getting plus 10. It seems like a nice spot. Chi Archie in the house. Rem Mo says, morning, I have a meeting when the show is on, so we'll watch it delayed later on. But look at under 6 in Ottawa, Vancouver, and that is a play I'm on. And at this point, that's the only play I'm sure I'm making in the NHL. So shout out to Chi Archie, who's giving the shout out to everybody on Arkansas. I know a lot of people talked about the situation with Arkansas with their best player out of the lineup, but man, teams step up in that situation, and that's why I was not one to fade Arkansas. Now I didn't have the balls to take Arkansas like some of you guys. So shout out Dom the Don with us, Steve Cordero, Gin Rummy. Now remember, Gin Rummy's been giving us the plays the day before and showing how he's destroying these line moves, and he is destroying them. And he went 4-0 on those unders. He gave those unders 2 days ago for games yesterday and went 4-0. Shout out to our guy, Gin Rummy. Shout out to our guy, Nut Flush Allen, hanging out with his boy, Daryl, in the driver's room. Love it. Shout out to Nut Flush Allen. We got Red Girl in the house. Jorge, don't play, ready to rock. We got Bleds W. We got Matt Randall. Matt Randall's play of the day, and it has been fire. Matt Randall saying, Butler. We got Ricardo Gutierrez, Drew Daddy, Vegas Gun. Love seeing Vegas Gun. Carlos Peroge, Dan Kelly. What a treat. It says, what's better than Jimmy in the morning? What a great guy. Sounds like a commercial. DJ Big Boss in the house. Now, DJ Big Boss is hosting with a couple other cappers. I know that Ski Profit's going to be there. Parlay Poppy's going to be there this Friday in Long Beach. I'll be tweeting it out for all the guys in the California area. A low bag hookup in Long Beach. I love the sounds of it. I wish I could be there myself. And Ski Profit says, sorry about the Kings, y'all. Shake my head. Worst beat of the year. No doubt. Oh, my God. Oh, God. I can't. Beside 25-point lead in the fourth quarter, that would have given me a 500 day in NBA, and that instead gave me a 1-3 day in the NBA. Very disappointing. FSU Chatfield says, big Cajones play of the day, UAB money line. Oh, that's interesting. And Todd Petkoff saying buy to 6.5 in the Ottawa under. That's interesting. Thinking there could be a 4-2 game there. Shout out to Todd Petkoff. Eddie Euler, 8-2 in my last NHL. Steve Cordero, 15-2 yesterday with the help of King and Jay. Shout out to Steve Cordero. That's massive. Eddie Euler said, Jimmy, beautiful day in Vancouver. Going to the Sens Canucks game tonight. Oh, wow. That sounds like a lot of fun. What a spot. What a time. Man, Canucks could win this game. And Elias Pettersson now the highest scoring rookie in Canucks history, beating 2-player Pavel Bure and Ivan Holinka tied at 60. But every Vancouver Canuck fan knows the greatest rookie season was 18-year-old Trevor Linden, wiry Trevor Linden out of Medicine Hat, 30 goals, 29 assists, 59 points, 1988, and he was second in the Rookie of the Year, battling to Brian Leetch, who had a great rookie year himself. But that's forget Bure and Holinka. It's Trevor Linden. Shout out to Matt Randall, Carlos Peroge. We got D Hall. We got Keith Sadler. We got Ray and Hyder. Beautiful. Said Jimmy, hot couple weeks. Thanks to you and all the cappers on your team, bro. Being an amazing run. You know, my amazing run stopped last night. Stopped because of D'Angelo Russell. So, okay, let's, and Marky Mark in the house. Shout out to Marky Mark, also in the in the delivery, the room there with Nut Flush Allen and Daryl. Shout out to Marky Mark in the house. All right, we got a great group. Let's get to work. Ricardo Gutierrez, George Cruz. We got Series Business. Beautiful. Woke up to an 8-1 day. Hail to the victors. Look at that. Big Dick Energy, play of the day. We'll be back tomorrow, going for 6 straight, just leaving us hanging like that. But I get it. Ryan Nicholson in the house. Dave Allais. Shout out to Dave Allais, our MLB baseball expert, getting the year started. He came on the show last night, and he gave first 5 over, full game over in the opening day of baseball that was over in Japan, Mariners, A's, and that both cashed so easily. Shout out to Dave Allais, getting the year started just like he got it finished last year. AC512 says, I'm built for this shit. Let's go. We got Ill Wise. We got JF. We got Nikolai Yarrow. Oh, yeah, Nico. There you are, Nico. Yeah, I did still fade you. I faded a ton of people on that over with the Warriors. Everybody was on the under, and again, the T-Wolves find a way to get me every goddamn time with totals. They're just so bad defensively. That second quarter, 49-point second quarter, hurt me. They were 4 points away from the over. But shout out, Nico. Nice to see you in the gym, my man. Alex Mabry in the house. Walla Walla Dose. All right, we got a great group. Let's get to work. Sean Robertson says, Kings killed me last night. Oh, God. Paulo Marquez says, good night with Capitals Rockets. Let's roll today. God bless you, Jim, and all the baggers. Nice to have you. Paulo Marquez. Trenton Claxton, TCU, full game and half. Max bet. Young Suave says, low bags, don't say sorry. You're right. Shout out to Young Suave in the house. We got a great group, man. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste Trenton Claxton. Trenton Claxton makes money, man. So I'm going to copy and paste Trenton Claxton's max bet. Sacktown Jim says, sorry, Jim. No, right? There's no sorry. Sacktown King, I know rolling with you with over 54%. Come on. Going into the fourth quarter, I was counting the cash. Dangerous. George Cruz says, Raptors +5 is a move today. Colby Valentine in the house. Colby Valentine, my NCAA plays today. ASU -2, Butler +5.5, and the money line. Ooh, Sam Houston +13.5, and the money line +750. Wow. And Lucrative Larry dealing with someone stole his turkey from his backyard. But Lucrative Larry is all over that play too. He was doing a lot of studying, very sad studying, but he jumped on Sam Houston at +13.5. Love it. Gate Pasquis says, love Linden. Don't make him like that anymore. I was heartbroken when he left the team this year. I thought that his leadership, his guidance would be nice to have. Adam Lastman coming off an 8-6 day. All right. Oh, Jim Rummy says Bulls Wizards game open at 236.5. At BetOnline, it's now 230. What happened there? Wow. We will talk about that, Jim Rummy, no doubt. And Nico, my man Nico, I went against him. Not today. He's on Wizards money line, Dallas money line, and Heat money line. I like that. Art Hayes says Temple killed my parlay. You know, it was interesting. We know that Drew and Max were on Temple, but a lot of guys did like the Bruins in their chat, and that was just a stay-off game for me. Gate Pasquis coming in with his NHL plays. Oh, that was last night. Sorry. Dallas puck line, Washington puck line, Avs money line, Boston money line, Nashville money line, all cash. And shout out to Rem Most again. If Rem Most hadn't have told me that Lehner was starting, what I should have done, I don't know. I mean, you're trying to break down the psychology, the way players are thinking. But a guy like Robin Lehner, who went into Alcoholics Anonymous and rehab in the offseason, also dealt with his bipolar disorder in the offseason, is off with a concussion for 2.5 weeks. And part of the thing we got to do in this business is find edges and angles, and sometimes it's dirty, you know. And I guess it's sort of a mean thing, kind of fading somebody's mental health. But I want Robin Lehner playing every second night and with the team nonstop. When he's alone for 2.5 weeks, fade him. Instead, I just didn't take the Islanders. But I should have just faded him, knowing that he wouldn't be at his best. And that's sad. You know, I don't like talking about that sort of thing. But that's just facts, man. That's just facts. All right, Kobe Valentine says, I was a pitcher. I don't feel pressure. Just one pitch at a time. In this case, one bet at a time. Well said, Kobe. And Matt Randall's taint play today. Butler +5.5. Let's copy and paste that. +5.5. And Dave L.A. says no pressure. Dave L.A., you're our guy. No, we need a lot of guys. Kobe Valentine, incredible baseball capper as well. We need as many guys together as possible in their MLB season. We need videos every day from people. We need them to come on live every day. We need that. Okay, Eddie Oilers says Ottawa's covered the puck line in their last 4 games. Now, I wouldn't take them here on the puck line because then you're turning them into a big favorite. And they should never be that. They should never be that. George Cruz says we bounce back today, Jimmy. TH412, beautiful, great capper. It says NBA card is beautiful tonight. Trent Claxton liking Toronto puck line. I guess I'm assuming he's speaking the Leafs because he says puck line. And you know what? I'm not taking him. And we'll start there. Gabe Pasky says Marshall and Providence killed my NCAA night. Marshall hurt me as well. And Eddie Oilers says street catcher guy picked Arizona State. Okay. And Art Hayes, easy money of the day against my team, San Antonio, backing San Antonio. And let's get to work. Dallas, a half unit plus 413. Who would not take this without McCollum? I wouldn't, Nico. I wouldn't. I think the Mavericks are absolute trash. And now they're coming off an overtime loss, going back on the road where they've lost 8 straight. No, I think the Mavericks are a bad basketball team, making Doncic do way too much. But Nico, we know what happened last night when I faded you. I took it right in the old brown eye, right in the old prison pocket. So I don't want to do that again, but I just might have to. Failed at Life 666, man. You sound interesting. Says, when is the poker tourney info being released? I will have more information today. About the poker tournament because we need to give you guys, because we're getting a code, we're getting the invite code, we're getting a whole bunch of stuff for our big poker tournament with Bovada on Monday, where the winner of this poker tournament gets an all expenses paid trip for him and someone else, a guest, flights to Minnesota, tickets to the Final Four and the championship games, 4 nights hotel, money for food, and you're welcome anywhere. We're flying you from anywhere. This is not just America only. This is flying from anywhere. Nico says, I agree, they'll rest Kleber too. Yeah, Kleber hurt with the elbow injury. And I truly don't want to go against you again, Nico. But I really think they're a terrible basketball team. Eddie Oiler says, Mark Lawrence picked Mavericks today. Well, I'm not saying that I'm going to take the Blazers. And I was shocked when I heard that they were at 10. That can't be true. They can't be 10-point favorites, can they? Just because one team's in double overtime. Let's see this. 10. Well, I mean, that. Okay, I get why someone would take Mavs plus 10. I'm not going to. I think the Mavs are god-awful. I think that's one of the worst starting fives. Well, it's certainly in the NBA. But, man, you got Dirk Diggler out there at 41 years old. Oh, God. All right. Mr. Gokster says, coming from Mongolia. Okay, sure, we need more cappers from Mongolia. Okay, let's get to work here. Nasty Nate says, I hit a PC player with a couple eggs last night. Good work. Don the Don says, fade the Pac-12. Thomas says, I don't think Portland can beat top teams without McCollum out, but they should be fine at home against a bad team like Dallas. I agree with that. Eddie Euler leading West Virginia in college pass. Okay, we got to get to work. You got Moss says, I told you Hofstra versus NC State line should have been a pick 'em. You did, and we cashed on that, so thank you for that. You got Moss. Keith Sadler said Mavs won't win in Portland. And my man Nico says numbers from my model. Mavericks should be plus 194. Blazers should be minus 179. Oh, I get that. Hey, Nico, we love you. You are a huge asset to the fam here. So, all right, let's get to work. And Elias Flores says, I woke up with the Mariners plus money line 130 and an over 8.5. Way to go. And TH412 says, Blazers still fighting for a playoff spot position. Mavs tanking, Blazers roll tonight. I agree, but what's the best way to handle that? We'll talk about that in the NBA segment. Let's get through these 4 NHL games first. All right. Leafs at Sabres. George Cruz also saying Mavericks are trash. And Dan B says, yo, good morning. Hit 2 parlays last night, both 4-teamers. God, that's what I need to get on. Jesus. That is what I need to get on. Gay Pasky says, Leafs played a pretty good game last night, just no luck. They're feeling better about their game. And we'll get back to their winning ways tonight in Buffalo. Leafs puck line. All right, let's get to work on this Leafs puck line here. We got Leafs at Sabres. Let's take a look at what the puck line is, money line, and the total right now, SBRodds.com. Leafs are minus 140 on the road. This total opened at over 6.5 and minus 117. That's gone up 8 cents at BetOnline to now over 6.5 and minus 125. And if you want that Leafs on the puck line right now, you're going to get a nice score out of it. There's no doubt about that. Plus 165 to plus 179. Let's break this game down. First off, you're going to have to back Garrett Sparks, I'm expecting. I'm sure Gabe Pasky is expecting Garrett Sparks in net too. I don't see why they'd go back with Frederick Anderson in this spot. Eddie Oley says lean Leafs and over. And we got King Rail in the house. Beautiful. Love seeing King Rail in the house. Jansen says fade Leafs. And that's a man in Toronto. who's saying fade the Leafs. All right, Juan Juarez in the house. Shout out Deep Bash, ready to get to work. Okay, this Leafs team, second half of back-to-back, they got shut out in Nashville last night, 3-0. Now, Kate Pasquis said they played well, and they did. They held Nashville to 2 shots in the second period, 20 on the game. I don't know what the hell's going on with Nashville. And I'm actually curious what Kate Pasquis thinks about this game Saturday night, Nashville-Winnipeg, because Nashville's going to be a dog on the road. With Winnipeg's injuries on defense, I think Nashville has value, but their power play is so awful. We're not talking about them right now. Let's stay focused. They have now lost 4 of 5, these Leafs, and they've given up 26 goals over that span. They continue to be without Jake Gardiner and Travis Dermott, as well as fourth-line center Frederick Gauthier. Sabres ended a 7-game losing streak Sunday with a 4-3 shootout victory over the Blues. Listen to this. They're going to be trying to win 2 games in a row for the first time since mid-December. That's a stretch of 40 games that the Sabres haven't won 2 games in a row. Franchise mark is 44 games without winning at least 2. That was in 71-72. They're 0-10-1 in their past 11 attempts to win 2 consecutive games. Sabres are 0-2-1 this season against the Maple Leafs. Their 4-game losing streak against the Maple Leafs is their longest since 5 straight losses in 1972. The Sabres are 19-4-2 in their past 25 home games against the Leafs, but have lost 2 straight. The Maple Leafs have not won 3 in a row in Buffalo since the first 6 meetings at the old auditorium. And that was there in the first 2 seasons when Sabres entered the NHL in 1970. Heartbreak story. We don't have time to go into it, but the Canucks came in that same year. They juggled a ball to see who got the first overall pick. Gilbert Perreault or Dale Talon. I guess you can guess who the Canucks got. Buffalo's without defenseman Jake McCabe. He's done for the year. Wow, look at that. King Rail 16-0 in NBA plays yesterday. Wow, that is unbelievable. And we have him on Friday night. And also, I will be on King's Court tonight. So maybe I can get some of that heat to roll off on me. God damn. Lamont Williams says, my max bet, FDU, full game over. Great job. A lot of overs came in, except I took 3 overs, and of course, only 1 came in. Man, college NCAA went 5-6 and lost 1 by half a point with St. Francis. That was me just getting on the ass end of the line. Missed some totals by a point. It was very, very, very disturbing. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Carter Hutton, 17, 20, and 5, 2.88 goals against average, 910 save percentage. More of a character guy than the number 1 goaltender. Garrett Sparks, 7.71, 3.24 goals against average, 902 save percentage. I don't know if you want to take him. Kobe Valentine, I'm going to copy and paste Kobe Valentine's college basketball stuff here. Copy and paste. There, copy and paste. That's right under Matt Randall's paint play of the day. I'm not going to take the Leafs as a big favorite here. This is the biggest game of the year right now for the Sabres. I mean, that's how bad they've become. So, I just feel tentative making any move here. I'm certainly not going to take the under with these 2 goalies. Gabe Pasquis says we'll probably fade Jets. I feel like that's the right play to do on Saturday. I think I'll be on that as well. All said and done, this to me seems like a game I want to stay off. Von Polo, I'm on Buffalo reverse puck line. See, Von Polo, that is the most appealing bet I've heard of all these. Going for a giant score against a Leafs team that's just not rolling right now. And the Sabres get a chance to play in front of a sold-out arena. You just feel like they could roll. And Mr. Ghoster says, why should we take Buffalo, though? Listen, Buffalo, 24th in goals per game, 23rd in goals allowed. Now, they have okay penalty killing, 9 to 81.5%, 18 power play, 18.0%. Toronto's won 6 straight versus the Sabres. I have here that they've won, what? Sorry, I had that information in front of me. Yeah, they're 0-2-1 this season, so it's a 4-game losing streak dating back to last year. But yeah, I hear that. Von Polo says, once Toronto lose, they've been losing by more than 1 goal. Buffalo reverse puck line, thank me later. Listen, I like it. I like it. So, Gabe Pasquis says, also the biggest game of the Leaf season, too. Want to play back-to-back, keep the momentum of a solid game last night. That's an important point. Eddie Oiler saying Sabres off 4-3 shootout win over the Blues. And the Blues that was a mistake last night. I wish I had known that Tarasenko was going to be back before I made that bet. That was a mistake. But whatever. Let's keep rolling along. I'm off this game right now. We can talk about it a little more on the Late Show. Let's move on to a nice matchup. Lightning Capitals. Now, Capitals started Copley last night so that that Holtby would be in goal tonight in this big matchup against Vasilevsky and the Lightning. Look at the Lightning. My God. What a hockey team. 56-13-4, 25-7-2 on the road. First in goals per game, 3.85. Fourth in goals allowed at 2.60. First in power play, 28.4%. First in penalty killing at 85.7%. Man, that is a hockey team. My God. What a hockey team. Tampa clinched the first President's Trophy in franchise history. Now they'll have home ice throughout the playoffs. After that 4-1 win over Arizona, they're 19-2-2 since February 1st. They got 2 empty netters when they beat this Capitals team on Saturday, 6-3. Tampa scored the first 2 goals, led 3-1 after the first period. Stamkos became Tampa's all-time goal leader, 384th on Monday. But he's gone without a point last 3 matchups against these Capitals. Defenseman Strawman still dealing with a lower body injury. He hasn't played since March 5th, but he's practicing. So he's practicing in a regular jersey, too. He could be back. Defenseman Dan Girardi missed the Bolts last 3 games due to a lower body injury. I don't expect him to be back. Capitals on the second half of a back-to-back after winning 4-1 at Jersey on Tuesday. A lot of us were on the over, and it was 4-1 after 2 periods. And what happens when these teams, like the Capitals, have a 4-1 lead and they're playing again the next night? They just don't care about scoring again. You got Moss says, give me the Caps to win. I love getting plus 116 in DC. You know, I hear that. Tomer said I've been betting Tampa anytime they're around minus 130 or less, and I've done very well doing that. Oh, God, I'm sure you've done spectacularly well. Absolutely spectacular. Von Polo says Capitals first, money line, Tampa Bay, full game money line. Yeah, that's an interesting look, Von Polo. Taking Capitals first period, Tampa full game. I like that look. Let's take a look at what the movement's been on this game, SBRodds.com. If you want Washington, oh, no, you got to take, as I said, Lightning are favored, so you're not going to take Washington plus 1.5 at minus 2 something. Tampa Bay minus 1.5 is open at plus 180 and it's gone up, so money coming in on Washington. Now, if you want Lightning on the puck line, you get plus 200 at 5 dimes, plus 198 at Heritage. And then let's quickly just see what the money lines and the totals are for this spot. Tampa, Washington, Tampa minus 130. And no, I mean, you can still get minus 128 at BetOnline, minus 135 at Bovada, and the over 6.5 is heavily juiced. Heavily juiced. I wonder if the under could be in play. Matt Randall says Capitals plus 110. You don't think these guys will be up and this crowd will be fired tonight? It's Caps, Caps, Caps. You got Moss and Jimmy. You had me on Caps last night, minus 1.5. Thank you. Yeah, that was nice. You know, got plus 125 on the show, plus 120 here, but still a 2-4 night in NHL, and that plus line doesn't take care of it, so disappointing night. We can get it back. Adam Lastman says Caps Tampa over 6, so he's buying down, excuse me. Keith Sadler says Caps need to make a statement as defending champions versus possible successors. I agree. Eddie always says over 6 is super juicy. Yeah, I don't love it. And Mr. Ghost said if Tampa's down, hit Tampa Bay live. Lamont Williams says, Jimmy, what's the best reverse line or puck line play plus money? I don't have one right now. But I will tell you a play I am jumping on. I am jumping on the under in Senators Canucks. Let's just hope this line didn't go away against me because I didn't jump on it in the morning. Yeah, it's fine. Perfect. It's completely even money here. Mr. Gokster is on the Lightning, and Tomeo says, I'd lean Tampa. Much more important game for Washington. They have to beat Tampa once, and Tampa's playing for nothing at this point. And he's still leaning Tampa. And you got Moss says, I'm staying on the money making Caps. Jeff Murillo likes Vancouver here. I would like Vancouver as a dog, and I don't like them as a favorite. So I'm hesitant to make a move here on that. Twatty Latte says, I'm finding preseason MLB rather elementary. Twatty Latte will be making appearances on the Low Bag Show this year. I'm very excited about that. Gate Pasquis says Canucks puck line. Let's break this game down. Nilsson, Markstrom. Now, it didn't say it had Thatcher, Demko listed on these sites, but they're going to go back to Markstrom, right? They have to go back to Markstrom. Eddie Oiler says Canucks unders 4 in a row, giving up 2.6 goals a game last 5. And Markstrom's playing spectacularly well. Best I've ever seen him play. Markstrom, 26, 20, and 9, 2.71 goals against 2.71 goals against 915 save percentage, 1 shutout. Anders Nilsson was a Knucklehead, and I think he'll step up back in Vancouver tonight. 2.95 goals against 909 save percentage, and I think that he will step up. Gate Pasquis said, I think the Sens are good at home, a good home dog, but not on the road, especially in Vancouver. Todd Peckoff says, buy the 6.5 Ottawa and a half unit on total 3-way, even 6 at plus 400. Wow. Buy to Ottawa, 6.5. Oh, buy the 6.5 Ottawa and a half unit on the total 3-way, even at 6 at plus 400. Wow. Yeah. Todd Peckoff, can you, sorry, I'm not reading that properly. Could you explain that one more time? That's my fault. I did not, I was up so goddamn early, so I'm not getting a ton of sleep right now. Sens coming off their second straight win, 6-2 home beatdown of the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday night. The Senators team 15th in goals per game at 2.96, 30th in goals allowed, 3.64. That number's going down under Mark Crawford. 15th in power play at 19.4%. 22nd in penalty killing at 80.8%. Jim Rummy says, I don't see any value today except maybe the Ducks plus 145. Line already dropped. Or Jets puck line if the money line's minus 137 or better. Good luck, NHL bettors. I like that, Jim Rummy. I like that a lot. I agree that the first thing that jumped out at me was maybe should I jump on the Ducks here against a Jets team that's not playing that well and has these defensive issues. And the Ducks are playing better than it looks. But we'll get in that game next. So, Sens coming off that big win over the Leafs. Mark Crawford, another ex-Canuck, says that was quite truthfully probably our best game of the year. Senators traded away their first-round pick in this year's draft in that Matt Duchene deal, so they have no reason, no benefit from finishing last in the league, so they're trying right now. Canucks are coming off an impressive sweep, road back-to-back. Beat the Stars in Dallas on Sunday night, then beat the Blackhawks in overtime 3-2 the following night. And, of course, I faded my team both those nights and lost. They have a point in 4 straight games. They've won 3 of 4. They're still mathematically alive for a playoff spot. Pedersen broke the franchise record, as we talked about off the beginning of the show, for rookie scoring. Vancouver is playing good hockey despite injuries to Tanev and Hutton, which is very impressive to me. I mean, Edler's so key, but still, these are 2 important D-men. Both are out with foot injuries. Tanev done for the year. Hutton could come back later this week. No Sutter, Roussel, Berchi, they're all done for the year. Spooner with a groin injury. And Ashley Wynn says, any unders in NHL, Jimmy? Yes, Ashley, I am taking the under 6 in this spot here. Canucks, Ottawa, getting minus 105 at our friends from Heritage. Under 6, minus 105 at Heritage. All right, beautiful. And Eddie Orr says, last 3 Vancouver games have gone to OT. I like that, and I get it. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Final game, let's move on to NBA. Jets at Ducks. Hellebuck at Gibson. Ducks are coming off their 2nd straight victory. 6th in their last 9 games, 3-2 at home over the Panthers on Sunday night. Under Bob Murray, this Ducks team is scoring. In the last 8 games, 3.6 goals per game. No Kessler, no Gould. Who cares? Andre Case done for the year. Jets have also won 6 of their past 9. 3 points up on Nashville in the Central, coming off 3-2 win in LA on Monday night. Shout out to Nico. Nico backing the under 6 in that spot. Like hearing that. Todd Peckhoff says, buy the under 6.5 in Ottawa, minus 130. And the total 3-way over 6, under 6, or even 6. And then take even, okay, I feel you. Sorry, Todd Peckhoff, my fault. He's saying take exactly 6 at plus 400 worth a half unit play. Wow, that's exciting. I like that, Todd. Like that. Shout out to Todd Peckhoff. Todd Peckhoff and Jin Rummy, they keep us straight. And I love their input on this show. Okay, Eddie Olis says Winnipeg won 9-3 on February 2nd. Carlisle fired. Yes, that was the finishing. I remember it was 6-0 after the first period. And Carlisle, ex-Jet, man, took it right in the old short shorts. Shout out to Clarence Souza in the house. Drew Dice says, no matter if there's 10 NHL games or 4, we always spend most time in NHL. Okay, sorry, we'll move off. We'll move off this. And that's just on the early show. We barely touched on the late show. This could be a look-ahead spot for Winnipeg. They have that showdown with the Predators on Saturday in Winnipeg. Remember, no Buffalo, no Morrow, and no Morrissey as well. No Morrissey. Morrow is actually about to come back. All right. Eddie Oler leaning Jets, Ducks under 6. Would you really get a 6 even though the Ducks have been higher scoring lately? That makes sense to me. I guess I like that lean quite a bit. Even though the Ducks are scoring more goals. That's why we get a 5, and not a 5.5, but a 6. All right, that's what's up. I'm only on the under 6 at minus 105 in Senators Canucks. That is it. Let's move on to the association. We got some great NBA cappers already breaking these games down in the chat. Let's start with Bucks Cavaliers. Bucks on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Lakers 115-101 last night in Milwaukee. Shout out to you, Drew Daddy. Much love, man. Much love. No, you guys, this is our show. It's not my show. It's our show. So I need your input as much as possible. Okay, let's talk NBA. Let's move on to that Cavs-Bucks game. And let's get to NBA odds here, spreads and totals. And let's start breaking down this card. Bucks minus 9.5. And that sounds like too many points. But the question is, do you think that Giannis Antetokounmpo will be in the lineup? And I would have to say, no, I don't think he's going to be in the lineup. I know that he doesn't miss back-to-backs. He usually just misses the one game, but why play him here? You're playing the 2 worst teams in the league. You need him to be fresh. I would not play Antetokounmpo in this spot. Now, obviously, I don't have inside information. I'm not talking to the guy. Bucks were already without Malcolm Brogdon. They're coming off that 115-101 win last night. Man, figuring out that there was a lot of things you could figure out in this game. One was the under. Man, that just seems like a perfect spot to jump on the under, and I don't know why I didn't. King Rail says, I DM'd you last night about the Celtics, Jimmy. Would love to hear your thoughts. Absolutely, King. I will, and I'm sure we'll talk all about it on King's Court tonight. But yes, and thank you, Von Polo. Said, I love all the hockey you do, Jimmy. You're the only one on this channel that covers hockey. Really spends as much time as you need, my man. Thank you, Von Polo. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's get to work right now. Torino says, Giannis wore down late. Milwaukee won't make the same again. I think he rests here. Okay, now here's a question, a capping question. The bet would really be, I'm going to bet that Giannis won't be in the lineup because as soon as he is announced, this will go from 9.5 to 6.5. Milwaukee already out Sterling Brown, Dante DiVincenzo, Urlasen, Ilyasova. Who cares? Chris Middleton playing good basketball. Brook Lopez really stepped up, but it was Mirotic. Of course, Mirotic is going to bounce back in this spot. He went 0 for 6 2 nights ago, and now he comes back and he has a great game. 23 points. That was a simple play. Rayhan Hyder saying Celtics look like the play. Kevin Pine says love Celtics tonight. Adam Lastman says Cavs with the points. I think this has to be Cavs with the points. I really do. Cavs coming off 126-119 home win over the Pistons on Monday night. Pistons were resting Blake Griffin, but the Cavs didn't have Kevin Love, Larry Nance, Tristan Thompson, or Matthew Dellavedova either. They're now 5-2 at home since the All-Star break. Jeff Murillo said, if you think you rest, take the spread now and the under. Now, with the Cavs, as we saw against the Pistons, I just can't trust them in total situations. I can't trust them to step up. But look, King says, Bucks crush Cavs, take the -9. Sorry, I moved this forward. Okay, let's take a look at what this total's done. Sorry, I wish I had done it off the top. Here we go. Total in the Cavs game. Open at 228.5. It's already down to 227. Tomor says Milwaukee's defense still isn't consistent with Mirotic. Lakers made a point of runs. Tom Marino says idly in Cleveland. DJ Big Boss says Cavs been doing good in these spots. And JF says Orlando first quarter, low-hanging fruit. That's been hitting nonstop. Vev the Real says Sexton playing great, and he is. Still doesn't distribute enough, but he's averaging 21.1 points, 2.9 boards, 3.2 assists per game, shooting 45% from 3 in his last 18 games. 45% from 3. And all we said about this kid was he couldn't shoot when he came out of college. Love listed as questionable. Tristan Thomas questionable, but he's taking part in shoot-arounds. Hasn't been through a full practice yet. If you're taking the Cavs, don't expect to have Tristan Thompson in the lineup. Nico says, yup. Thanks, King Rail. Says, don't take the Cavs. Y'all books want you to. I want it. I want him. DJ Big Boss says, I feel you, King. Larry Nance listed as questionable. First time Nance has been hit with a questionable tag since going down with a rib injury, so he could be back. That would be a big help. If they're out again, we know it's going to be Zizic, Chris, and Nwaba. Nwaba played 40 minutes last game and looked good doing it. God, I want the Cavs. I don't like going up against King. The 9.5 sounds nice. Against a Milwaukee team that's tired. Oh, man. I want him. And King says I'm walking into an ambush. But I want the Kings at 9.5. You know what? I'm going to take the Kings. I'm going to take the Cavs at 9.5 here. I'm going to take them. And if I want to buy back, I will. If I want to buy it back later, I will. If the Greek Freak is in, I'll make a bet that the Greek Freak's not going to be in. I'm taking the Cavs. God, why do I keep saying Cavs? Because Kings are on my mind from that fucking breakdown yesterday. Cavs plus 9.5, a -102. All right, let's keep rolling so I don't second guess myself. Okay. Pelicans at Magic. Magic are a rested group. 101-91 win at home over Atlanta on Sunday. They've now won first 2 games of a crucial 4-game homestand. They have to win here. Ben Sport 24/7 says Milwaukee not tired. They slowed the tempo down last game in the 3rd and 4th period. They did do that. JC Alvarez says stay off Cavs. You know I'm not. I hear you guys. And Nico laughing at me. I get it. Okay. So, they're a game and a half behind Miami. Talking about the Magic here for the 8th final spot in the Eastern Conference. Vucevic being the driving force behind this run. He's playing great ball. 20.7 points, 12.1 rebounds. He'll join Shaq and Dwight Howard. They're the only 2 Magic players to average 20 and 12 for a season. Howard did it 4 times. Shaq did it twice. Pelicans coming off 129-125 overtime win in Dallas on Monday night. That snapped New Orleans' 6-game losing streak. Elfrid Payton, 5 consecutive triple-doubles. This guy just picks and chooses when he wants to play and how good he wants to play. Payton, 19 points, 11 assists, 10 boards against Dallas. Julius Randle, what a beast he's been. 30 points Monday, 45 against Portland last week, averaging 21.3 for the year. Orlando won the first meeting, but there's no Drew Holiday, no Etuan Moore, and now there's talk about Drew being done for the whole season. Wow, Nico's numbers have the Pelicans minus 130, Magic plus 142, but Pelicans are currently plus 260. Adam Lastman liking Pelicans. And JC Alvarez says, I have trust issues with the Cavs, Jimmy. I get it, JC. I get it. And I know you guys are just looking out for my best interest. Ryan Hyder says, I like Orlando, but spread too much for a crappy team. Absolutely. I was shocked that it was this hot when I checked it out this morning. And you know what? I could have got 6.5, and I still didn't want it. I could have got 6.5 this morning, and I was still hesitant to take it. Now there's no 6.5s. Now there's 7s and 1/2s and 8s. So maybe I probably should have taken that 6.5 now, but that just scares me. That just scares me, so I'm off of it. OG Webb says, Mirotic is the experiment. Wilson deserves minutes, but not that much more than Snell. And yeah, I like DJ Wilson. I got no problem with DJ. Dan B says, Magic first quarter, I'm on it. They won last 2 first quarters. Pelicans lost last 2 first quarters. And we've watched Dave L.A. continually cash fading the Pelicans in the first quarter. Let's see what the Magic will give you in the first quarter. -2 still on the board. -2s. -2 and -115 at Bet Online. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. It's been cashing. I'm with you guys. Okay, Magic first quarter. -2. -115. All right. And Lamont Williams said, Jimmy, what about the Pelicans solo under? That is a nice look. That is a nice look. Pelicans solo team under. Let's just write that here. Team under question mark. That's a nice look. The Pelicans are able to, but are a second half of back-to-back. It's not going to be easy for them. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Celtics Sixers. This is a game everybody wants to talk about. Let's talk about it. Boston defeated Philly in 17 of the last 19 regular season meetings. 17 of 19. Like the old Yankees-Boston situation when Pedro said, I guess the Yankees are my daddy. The Sixers have to get over this Boston hump. Boston, oh, that's first quarter. Sorry, let's go to full game. My fault, full game. All right. Boston here. Philly opening at -4.5. Money coming in on Boston, and rightfully so. Philly now -3 or -2.5. The only move right now with Boston would be to take the money line. I think would be to take the money line. Total opening up at 225.5, now 224.5 or 224. Viper MB says Boston +3 is my play. Vev the Real says Horford rents space in Embiid's head. Rahan Hyder says third game in 4 nights for Philly, but Embiid, it's not for Embiid, and he's by far the most important player on this team. You got Moss says I like Philly to break through. Adam Lastman says Celtics here, and TH412 says Sixers play like this, like a playoff game that screams under. I agree that screams under. It screams under. Even if you like Boston to win, I think it screams under. Tormino says I'm on Boston +2.5. Celtics love playing Philadelphia, and they play great in Philadelphia. Celtics will be angry after blowing the Denver game at the end of the third quarter. Okay. Nico says, okay, I want to share something here. If you listen to Low Post podcast with Brett Brown, he pointed out that he's willing to take the hits and experience pain so they can access team tolerance. Wow. Expand on what you think that exactly means, Nico. Ben Sports 24/7 says Horford with the knee soreness isn't going to be able to control Embiid in the paint. Tom Marino says Boston has great personnel to guard Simmons. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. King Rail says all over Celtics like a drunk girl at a party. Nico said, I think they'll be doing a lot of play rotation tweaks here, considering that they lost the Celtics series. I think that's a very interesting point. And I agree with OG Wham when he says, I don't like Brett Brown. I don't like him on. Okay. So the Celtics beat the Sixers 105-87 season opener, national TV. We all saw that. Then they won last month without Kyrie Irving. Now they're going for the season sweep. Celtics coming off that 114-105 loss at home to Denver on Monday. Embiid followed that 23-14 performance in that 112-109 loss to Boston on February 12th with that tirade. It cost him $25,000. He went off on this about losing to the Celtics. Embiid goes for 40, 15, and 6 against Milwaukee. It was impressive. Then he sits out the Charlotte game, and now he says, I'm fine not playing back-to-backs. He says it was my decision to choose which game I want to play. We got work to do against Boston. You know this game means so much to Philly. Redick goes for 27 and 10. 10 boards. Career high 10 boards last night as the Sixers won their 5th straight. Went 7 for 14 from 3. He's 22 for 40 from 3 in his last 5 games. Simmons goes for 28 points on 11-12 shooting from the field. Butler adds 23 on Tuesday for Philly. Irving scored 30 points on Monday. 4th time in the last 5 games he's done that. Gordon Hayward out. You know what? Who cares? Frank P says, any good Twitter follows for MVP, MLB? Yeah, we got great ones here. Dave L.A., Kobe Valentine, get on them. All right. All this said and done, I think the under has to be the play. I think this is a playoff type game. I think that's why it's gone down. That will be the first play I'm making on this NBA card. I'm jumping on the under in Celtics Sixers. Let's go totals. And under 224.5 is available at 5 dimes. And it's available at Bookmaker and Bet Online, but 5 dimes giving the 105. Under 224.5 minus 105. All right. And the records will be coming out. All the records, all the transparency will be back in action. And I'm extremely excited about it. I'm extremely excited to see my NBA record. And I can't imagine what my NHL record would be without those 2 6-0 nights that I've had in the last 2.5 weeks. So in those 2 nights, I'm up 14 units in those 2 nights. And I'm pretty certain that in all the other days over the last 2.5 weeks, I'm probably down that 14 units. So I bet you I'm ahead in my NBA record than I'm in my NHL record. But we'll talk about that. Tormer says Philadelphia's perimeter defense hasn't been strong. Redick is a big liability. He is. I just don't think that the Celtics have that shooting touch from outside that's going to affect that. Nico says Philly coming from a back-to-back. And Ben Sports 27 says Sixers know they're looking at a sweep. They're not letting it happen tonight, especially when trying to push in the East. And you got Moss says, oh, isn't well. Okay, I hear you. Okay. King Rail says, nice shit, Jimmy. I can't wait to talk about this game a lot, King. And I do think that I'm going to make a move on the side. I just look very much forward to breaking the game down with you. All right. Let's keep rolling along, and that was a lot of fun to talk about. Now let's go to Jazz Knicks. Do the Jazz keep smashing? God, I can't wait to be on your show, King, with you and Jay Money Night and Pump. Even brought a bottle to the office, you know. Let's put some in my cup. Okay, Jazz Knicks. Total opened at 212.5. Has gone down to 209. I took the under in the Knicks' last game against the Raptors. And even though they did nothing, I still missed that because their defense was so bad. The Raptors completely dominated them. Kyle Lowry out. That is what I expected. And I understand that, JP, completely. Absolutely, I completely understand that. And Miss J, that is what I expected. Top set, like in Jazz, first half. Let's talk more about this movement. Jazz opening at -10, now -12. Jazz first half Jazz coming off a beatdown at Washington, 116-95. They took care of business. They've now won 4 straight. Held opponents to 100 or fewer in each of the 4 games in the season best 5 straight games. Sorry. So they've held opponents under 100 points in 5 straight games. During their winning streak, their 4-game winning streak, Utah is allowing 97.5 points per game. They're playing good ball. 96.3 defensive rating. Before that 98-89 loss to Oklahoma City on March 11th, they'd won 6 of 10, but they were allowing 110.7 points per game. On Monday, Jazz held Bradley Beal to 15 points, 4-12 shooting. They're playing really good ball. This is a dangerous basketball team. Jazz also shot 53.8%. They're 21-1 when shooting at least 50%. Donovan Mitchell, 19 points. Just missed out on a 7th straight game of at least 20. He's averaging 27 points in his last 9 games. Jay Crowder also stepped up. Now, if you're backing the Jazz, Dave Ellis says, I will try to share my MLB plays for tonight on the Late Show or on King's Court. Sweet, Dave. We want to know what you're up to. And great work. Starting out 2-0. Impressive. Respect. Drew Daddy says Wizards max bet. I like that look. a lot. Let's get to it as soon as possible. Okay, so Derek Favors is dealing with a minor hamstring injury. He says it's not going to keep him out. But then you're going to need more of Jay Crowder. And when you have more of Jay Crowder, you go smaller. That would be my only hesitation in this spot. TH412 says 209 too low. Jazz win here, 117.97. And then they cover easily. Wow, Terrell Johnson saying Book's taking Pelicans off the board. Better hurry up. Thank you for letting us know, Terrell. Gobert, 5 straight double-doubles. Was just named Western Conference Player of the Week. New York starting a 6-game homestand. They look terrible in that 128-92 loss. their starters are looking bad. Their starters got 44 points. 44 points against the Raptors. They shot 32.9%. So as a team, out-rebounded 50-36. Bad. They're 1-9 since getting back-to-back wins February 24th, 26th. They're averaging 101.2 points per game, 16.5 turnovers while shooting 43.3%. The Knicks were without Dennis Smith Jr. and Noah Vonleh. Smith missed his third straight game. Vonleh second straight. They're both day-to-day. I'm going to hold off on that spot. You Got Moss says, I love Ekby and he can take over from favorite spot. He can, but they never use him. And King Rail saying Rockets -5, max bet. Interesting. Let's move on to that. Wizards, Bulls. Do we jump on the Wizards right now? They opened at a pick 'em. Now it's 3.5. You got injuries here with Otto Porter and Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, questionable right thigh contusion. Porter didn't play in that, resting his sore shoulder in that 116-101 win at Phoenix. The Bulls don't want to win any more games, and the Wizards need to win this game. The Wizards are the spot. Bleds W says fade Knicks, no-brainer. But Eddie Euler says Knicks beat Lakers by 1 last game in MSG. And Nico letting us know that Larry out. So Wizards hit the road, 3-2 homestand. After a 3-2 homestand, it was a bad loss on Monday against a very good Jazz team. They're 4.5 games out. Now we get to look at that trade, Otto Porter for Parker and Portis, but Otto Porter probably is not going to be in the lineup. Parker has played similarly to how he played with the Bulls, but the Wizards just needed him so desperately. Parker averaging 14.8 points, 7.4 boards. Portis also 14.6 points, 8.4 boards, shooting 46.7%. Also very helpful to be shooting that. But, you know, he's stepped up in a big way, but especially on the boards. Wizards were 22-31 when they made the trade. They're 8-10 since. Porter rolling, you know, for the Bulls, but he's not going to be in the lineup. You know, I just think that this is a simple play on the Wizards, and I'm going to take them. Elias Flores says shootout in the Wizards game, but that total's dropped 7 points now from 236.5 to 229. 229 after 229. I'm going to jump on the Wizards right now, -3.5. I think they take care of business here. TH412 says Beal been on fire. He has. I know this Wizards team just 8-27 on the road, but this is a team that needs to win this game. Dom the Don says don't like them. Should I take this Wizards team that's so bad on the road as a favorite? I'm going to, but I can understand why people wouldn't like it. 8-27 on the road this year. -3.5. They have to win this game. Wizards. Sorry, I'm going to get to this. Spreads. Wizards. Eddie Ole says another loosey-goosey Wizards over. Well, it's dropped so far. Maybe it's the right time to take it. Jin Rami says the Bulls under keeps dropping. Open at 236.5. Yeah, Jin Rami told us this off the top of the show. King Rail says stay away from Wiz game until lineup is confirmed. I mean, the spread is telling us that these guys are going to be out of the lineup. I'm going to take a risk taking it now because it could be even worse if they're not in the lineup. It could get to 5. So I'm going to take Wizards here, -3.5. But I hear what you're saying, King, and it's important to mention that. Adam Lastman says, I wouldn't with your money, Jim. But Don the Don says, good play, Jim. All right, I'm grabbing it right now. Wizards, -3.5, -101 at 5 dimes. -3.5. All right, let's keep rolling along here. Rockets, Grizzlies. We already know King Rail's max bet is on the Rockets. Rockets on the second half back-to-back after defeating the Hawks at home 121-105 last night. Harden dealing with a neck injury. Remember, this also opened at -7. This opened at -7 and is now at 5, but it was at 4.5. So he is right. It was at 4.5 a few hours ago, and people jumped on it. And now it's at 5. This total has gone from 213 to 215.5. Rockets have won 12 of 13. They're playing good basketball. Harden slowed down, but he's averaging 10.2 assists over his last, how many games here? I don't have it, but averaging 29.8 points over the last 13 games. So the Rockets have won 12-13, that's it. So he's averaging less points and only shooting 29.1% from 3. Rockets have won 12-13. I should have stuck to that under that I was on. I got talked off. I mean, I didn't take the over, but I should have stuck to the under last night. Whatever. Let's keep moving. On Sunday against Minnesota, Fareed and Rivers sat. Against the Hawks, Shumpert sat. Tonight, Eric Gordon will rest, but who else will rest? And I guess Ashley Wynn saying Washington under, Jimmy. I just think I missed it, Ashley. It's a 7-point move, and I don't like being at the end of those moves. Matt Collins saying Rockets resting Eric Gordon. Wow, CJ Miles out for the season. That's not good. And Don says, I think it could also get worse, Jim. I agree. Capper John says, I thought King Rail was on Heat plus 6.5. Yeah, but the Heat took care of business. They won outright. Oh, you mean in this game? Okay, sorry, tonight. Sorry. We'll keep going. Okay. Memphis is a well-rested group. They've not played since the Saturday loss at Washington, 135-128. They had won 4 or 5 before those back-to-back losses to the Hawks in Washington. Mike Conley, 28.4 points, 8.4 assists over his past 5 games. Avery Bradley, sore right knee. Looks like we've seen the end of Jaren Jackson and Kyle Anderson. This is a spot where I need to know that Houston has their guys available. I agree with Tomer. I think they rest players. Nico says must win for Houston. And King Rail says Rockets are too good. I capped a 14-point Rockets win. Now, that's with everybody playing without Gordon, except Gordon, and I get that. But I want to know for sure that that's the case. I just have a sneaking suspicion that Harden might not be in the lineup here. Let's move on to Heat at Spurs. This is a very exciting game. Very, very exciting game. Young Suave coming in right now saying, who likes the Spurs? San Antonio's won 9 straight, coming off a 111-105 dismantling of Golden State. I wouldn't say dismantling. I did write that, but I watched that whole game, and it was a win. Just leave it at that. DeRozan scored 26 points. Aldridge, 23 and 13. Rudy Gay, 17. Derek White, Patty Mills, 12 and 10. Derek White is the difference. This team was losing so badly without a point guard. Now they have one. He's not a great one, but he's still a point guard. Win allowed the Spurs to go 13 games over 500. Spurs are a healthy group. Heat are playing very good basketball. Coming in after beating that Westbrook-less Oklahoma City team on Monday, 116-107. Goran Dragic, 26 and 11, 0 turnovers for the Heat. What a difference he makes, a healthy Goran Dragic back there. Dwayne Wade, 25 points, 33 minutes. Second most minutes he's played in the NBA this year. And Spoelstra says, what are we saving for? We have 3.5 weeks left in the regular season. We've load managed them all season long. Let's just go for it. He wants to play. I want him to play. We need him. Heat's bench outscored Thunder's bench 67-10. Heat have a nice game-and-a-half lead, but they need to win here. You got Moss says Spurs 29-7 at home. Wow, I was thinking that same thing when I was looking at that number this morning. Mickey Cohen says Heat take care of business. This is a game I'm going to need to cap with Jay Money's money on the late show, and then with both King Rail and Jay Money later. And Edward Younger loving the Heat in this spot. Eddie Euler says Heat, Spurs, lean under. Let's take a quick look at what you get there. San Antonio opening at -6.5. Now you can still get 6.5, but 6 is on the board. And Miami total opened at 209, now 210 or 210.5. Wesley Salmon says last game they played was 183. Tomar says I'd lead Miami first quarter. I think Spurs come out flat off the big win. That's a really nice look, Tomar. That's a really nice look, Tomar. Dude, Daddy says you love Dragic and you don't even know it. Old baby arms. I didn't know I loved old baby arms, but baby arms are stepping up, man. Baby arms is stepping up. I used to call them dwarf arms, but that's too mean. Let's just call them baby arms. All right, Heat. First quarter is a very interesting look from Tomar. First quarter lean. Okay, and we got to jump. And Top said Heat plus points have great value. King Rail says Heat plus 6.5. Heat cover and maybe win. I'd like Heat plus 6.5. I think Heat can keep it close here. I'm going to wait. Dave LA says no Anthony Davis tonight. Wow. No Anthony Davis tonight for the Pelicans. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for letting us know, Dave LA. God, I wish I got on that first quarter bet. I wish I made the bet. Elias Flores says old school defense game, Heat plus the points. Wow. Wow, and you got Moss and Spurs win easily. And Edward Younger says 100% with you, Ray. I'll take the points. Okay, let's get through these two last games very quickly because we got to move on to college basketball. Raptors, Thunder. Raptors are going to have Kawhi back. Thunder are going to have Westbrook back, but no Kyle Lowry. No Kyle Lowry. So how is that going to affect this spot? Toronto on the road, 5-point dogs. God, Toronto's been such... You never know what the hell you're going to get with this squad right now. They're going to get Serge Ibaka back from 3-game suspension. Listen to Oklahoma City. They're hopeful to get Nerlens Noel back. Listen to this. They're 1-4 without Nerlens Noel in the lineup. I was surprised to see that. They give up an average of 128 points per game without Noel in the lineup. That surprised me. Also, the Thunder are retiring Nick Collison's number tonight. 14-year career. Durant's going to be in town for it. What do you guys think that psychologically does to a team watching that? I think that the Raptors will probably start out slower. This game will probably start out slower. This total's gone up to 227. All right, let's keep rolling, and we're going to talk about this game with Jay Money on Late Show. And then we have Mavericks-Blazers. We talked about this a little bit off the top. Mavs on the second half of back-to-back. This is not a team I want to trust in any situation. They're going to have no Kleber. I was surprised to see that Jack Layman was starting as shooting guard in that 106-98 win over Indiana for C.J. McCollum, the injured C.J. McCollum. We'll talk about that on the Late Show with Jay Money, and then I'll be on King's Court tonight. Portland at 10-point favorites is total at 217.5 or 216.5. I actually think Portland takes care of business here, but I'm going to wait a little bit. Tormey said Adams was horrible last game, critical OKC defense and the rebounding. He's hurt. I'm not betting the game. He did look bad. He does look hurt. And Edward Younger says Raptors, OKC is a coin flip. And Eddie Euler leaning over. All right, let's get into college basketball. I really enjoyed that basketball breakdown, and that's just the beginning of how hard we're going to be hitting NBA today. Hard. We're going to hammer it with Jay Money's money for a long time, and then I'll be on King's Court tonight. Let's get that cash. And without further ado, let's welcome our NCAA basketball expert, Drew Martin Betts, in the house. Drew, how you doing, my man?
Jimmy, one day until the tournament starts tomorrow. Playing games tonight and last night, they were fun to watch. We got NIT action as well. But, man, like I've been saying the last couple of days, great day to be alive, great day to be a sports bettor. You were just breaking down the NBA, which is always fun, and college basketball. Man, it's just that time of year. So exciting times, bro.
Very, very exciting times. And we got it off to a winning streak with FDU, but I had some bad breaks yesterday, losing by a half point because I was on the ass end of the line with St. Francis. Was extremely bothersome. Marshall not covering, getting them. They only won by 5. I was on Robert Morris first half full game. They only covered full game. And then the real backbreaker for me last night was not getting the over in South Dakota State, Texas. I was on South Dakota State. They covered, but the over didn't cover by a point, and that was extremely bothersome. Got the over in Arkansas Providence, missed the over in Loyola Creighton. All right, 5 and 6 day, disappointing. Let's get to work right now. Let's start with the first playing game. North Carolina Central, North Dakota State. North Dakota State opening at -5.5, now down to 4.5 at Pinnacle. You have an angle on this game?
Yeah, Jimmy, and it's interesting that you bring up the over last night. One thing that we've just seen overall in the NIT, we'll get to it in totals. This play-in game, though, at North Carolina Central is a team from the MEAC that is just such a weak conference. So being able to just come out and win that conference, I don't put a lot of credence into it. When you just look at their 3 tournament opponents, 2 of them were 300 ranked teams according to Ken Pom. One of them was 265. That was Norfolk State. I don't think Norfolk State's very good. They're playing in the NIT tonight. But North Carolina Central, a 300 team, I don't think they got it. I think South Dakota State is a much more talented team. So seeing a short number here, I don't want to get too cute on this and try to be like, it's always sharp side to kind of go with the underdog in 2 lesser teams. But I just think the talent discrepancy is going to be too large. So I think North Dakota State, in a short number of -5, they're able to hit their free throws. So that's the side I'm on. I did make a small bet on it after Max was on it as well this morning in our morning show. So I'm on a small play, North Dakota State, man.
Why is it moving in North Carolina Central's direction, do you think?
Well, it's an interesting line because when it first opened, it opened at 3.5, shot up to 5.5, now back down to 5, 4.5. So it's kind of some opinion on both sides of this. And as far as the opinion for North Carolina Central, I mean, I guess you could make the argument they're hot down the stretch here, winning their conference tournament, but at the same time, so is South Dakota State, and I think that it's just the talent is too much here. So I can't come up with a lot of reasons why I would be looking to bet North Carolina Central other than, it's a play-in game and to take the points kind of sounds sexy, but I'm not going on that side at all.
Yeah, I hear that. I wonder who opened it at 3, because Pinnacle opened at 5 at about 9:30 last night, or was it in the morning? Sorry, let me double check that. 9. Oh no, this is days ago. This is on the 17th. What am I talking about? Opened at 5 on the 17th. Interesting. And same with Bet Online. They opened at 5.5. So I'd be curious to see who opened at 3. That's an interesting spot. You have any feel on this total? It's been sticking around 133 this whole time.
No, I don't have any plays on the total. Both teams not really looking to push it. We got North Carolina Central at 250 in terms of pace. North Dakota State in the 300s. So definitely with 2 teams that 16 seeds kind of, I would say lucky to be here. I would go towards the under just because kind of correlation with 2 lesser teams in the under, but I haven't bet it yet, Jimmy.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, then let's before we break into some games that we like the most, let's talk about the other playing game, Arizona State St. John's. This is going to be a beauty. Arizona State opening up at -1 at Bet Online, now -1.5. across the board. This total opening at 151 has gone up, creeping up. 152.5 at Pinnacle, 153 at the rest of the books. Arizona State, St. John's, Drew.
Yeah, two teams that are going to look to push the pace. St. John's is a pretty efficient team, both offensive and defensive. Top 100 by most metrics in terms of offensive and defensive efficiency. They hit their free throws. They don't turn the ball over, so it's a good team as far as metrics go. As far the teams I'm looking to bet on. Big East, they had a rough go of it. Didn't beat a lot of the better teams in conference, so they find themselves in a play-in game. One of the last teams to get a bid here. Arizona State, on the other hand, from the Pac-12, and I kind of had this sentiment going into the tournament, looking to fade all of the Pac-12 teams off the bat, but there are some Pac-12 teams that have a couple games where I think that they might be the side here. Oregon being one, Arizona State here. I could feel the Sun Devils coming in, in an up tempo game, coming in and give St. John's all they can handle. So I lean towards the over. It's a high number here, Jimmy, with both teams. The secret's out, going to push the pace. Arizona State, I would like to get there from a side standpoint, but they just don't hit their free throws. So going less than 70% from the free throw line, it's just a stat I've lost too much money on in the past, man. So I'm going to lay off of the Arizona State side.
Laying off Arizona State. Tomer puts it nice and succinctly here, saying St. John's weakness is depth. They should be good with the rest here, and they are strong in fast games. They should be up tempo. But a lot of guys saying 50-50. Nico saying Arizona should be a minus 129 fave here. Interesting stuff. People on both sides of the coin. And Eddie Oyer saying lots of great cappers on Arizona State, but you got Moss at St. John's College. Play of the day for me. Wow, play of the day for me. You got Moss. And when he says a play of the day, this is something we should listen to. He hits at a very high percentage. All right, those are the two play-in games. Now, everybody liking Max and Kobe, everybody on Sam Houston State, even lucrative Larry on Sam Houston State plus 13.5, and you can't get it anymore. Now it's 12.5. Should I jump on Sam Houston State right away?
I mean, if lucrative Larry's on it, Jimmy, I feel like he really knows his stuff in terms of small school college basketball. So I'm not going against lucrative Larry, especially in a team that I haven't really bet all year. So I'm not going to have too strong of an opinion, but I'm not going against my boy lucrative Larry, Jimmy.
So you are on Sam Houston State?
I'm not involved in the game as of right now. TCU is a banged up team. So down the stretch, I was looking to fade on them. Sam Houston State, it's a team I haven't bet all season. Was going to dig deeper into this game in the afternoon slate, but the Horned Frogs aren't a team that I'm looking to bet at this point in the season, just with all of their injuries and the way they've had to kind of change their offensive scheme. It has done some advantages to them, but I mean, Sam Houston State plus the points, especially if lucrative Larry's on it, is the side I would look towards.
All right, well, those are the big games jumping out at me right now. I mean, obviously, I look forward to this Grand Canyon, West Virginia, Harvard, Georgetown. Those seem like pretty exciting spots. Why don't we start with Harvard, Georgetown? Georgetown opening up at 6.5 at BetOnline, down to 6 there, and a 5.5 at 5 times. This total is up to 152. Harvard, Georgetown. You got a feel on this one?
Yeah, the Ivy League, they only finished behind Yale as far as that's who they lost to in the Ivy League tournament. And Harvard is a team, they have some talent coming out of the Ivy League, which I believe was a pretty strong conference this year. They're able to hit their free throws, hit their 3-pointers, hit their 2-pointers, efficient on offense, also pretty efficient on defense. So it's a game, again, I haven't bet. But I would be looking to be on the Crimson if you gave me a free bet. But I haven't touched it yet, Jimmy.
Haven't touched it. And that I was so off on that total, the Yale Harvard Ivy League final. I mean, I lost that bet by 40 points. Harvard's playing up tempo, and Georgetown, they got, Georgetown with their big, I always feel like they're going to slow it down or should slow it down, but they don't often do that either. This total is now up to 152.5. You have a feel on that?
Yeah, I would go towards the over. Like you said, they should slow it down, but they're a top 20 team in terms of tempo. So they just go up and down the court. And their offensive efficiency is a lot higher than their defensive efficiency. So, they're just better on the offensive side of the court and being able to push the tempo. Those aren't the teams that I think you can kind of get a lot of make a lot of money in the postseason doing that. Not to mention in the NIT with the new rules, the extended lane, more room for the guards to penetrate. So I'm looking to bet more overs than unders in the NIT. And from a glimpse view of it, last night we saw the overs go 6-4. And after the huge push, some of these games pushed up as far as 7, 8, 9 points towards the over, and for it still to go 6-4 on the closing number. It's something I think it might be a trend here in the NIT to look overs a lot more than look unders.
Yeah, no doubt. And I didn't do that very well on yesterday's card. Butler-Nebraska. Matt Randall's team play today. Butler. Nebraska opening as 4-point favorites and now 4.5-point favorites. Now that's a bet online opener, and I talk about bet online openers all the time. They're usually first to the market. What are you thinking here? Butler-Nebraska.
I'd look to be on Butler. Nebraska is a team that I was wrong a lot on, but as far as their just overall talent level, I don't think they had it. This wasn't a very good Cornhusker team overall. And Butler, they're efficient on the offensive end. They can hit threes. They hit their free throws. They don't turn the ball over very much at all. They have good guard play, which I look to bet on in the postseason. So Butler, I would think, is the side coming from the Big East Conference, solid conference, just 16-16. So they find themselves outside of the tournament. But with their guard play and their offensive efficiency, I like Butler here, Jimmy.
And so does Matt Randall with his play today. Christian Walsh took my first Noli Nose under, and it cashed. Shout out to our man Noli Nose, and to you, Christian Walsh. So what is a spot that you like on this card? Is there any spots that are jumping out at you?
I was looking at this Norfolk State Alabama game, kind of looking to fade Alabama in a situation we saw Texas in last night. Just not too much of a home court advantage tonight in Tuscaloosa. Just a matter of if Norfolk State is good enough to stay within 16 points of an SEC team. I would actually look towards possibly the under of 144 in that one. Jimmy, I've kind of moved to a lot of the tournament, the NCAA tournament betting, just because the NIT, I wanted to get a little bit more of a look from a total standpoint and see really how these rules changes are going to go. I was looking to kind of go towards the under after a lot of these pushes towards the over, but I still haven't been able to figure it out from watching the games last night, because I still do think with the lane widening and the shot clock difference, it will help the overs. It's just a matter of how much. I will say one tournament game I am looking at, the St. Mary's Villanova game. Villanova only having to travel 3 hours to the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. St. Mary's having to travel 3 time zones. I think that really favors this Nova side, only having to lay 4.5 in the NCAA tournament. So St. Mary's, remember, all year long, who have they really beat in the West Coast Conference? They just beat Gonzaga. Outside of that, only 2 other top 100 wins. So I'm kind of looking to fade the St. Mary's team in the tournament, and I like Villanova.
Liking Villanova. It's funny that opened at 6 at Bet Online, now down to 4.5 on Nova. It's a tricky spot. I mean, I just assume that it's just a vividness bias or a recency bias, whatever you want to call it, for what we saw St. Mary's do to the Zags, which was just out of the blue. Interesting looks on this first day here. Coming up tomorrow, God's going to be exciting. Your show's going to be jam-packed, I'm sure. Wow. I mean, looking at tomorrow's card, there's so many interesting spots. I guess, first off, do you think Florida State takes care of Vermont? I mean, Florida State seems to be coming into their own. I mean, I feel like they should be able to take Vermont by double digits. What do you think here?
Yeah, I will say the location is up in the Northeast. So obviously going from Florida way up there, the location-wise, it's towards Vermont. But I'm absolutely with you. I mean, this long, lanky, strong, defensive-oriented team from Florida State, we saw what they were able to do in the ACC. I would look to be on Florida State, but that location issue kind of got me as far as the travel spot. But I'm with you. I like this Florida State team. I like them to advance. And the bracket, the sub bracket that they're in, I believe is kind of weaker and sets up well for Florida State to make a run. So as far as filling out your bracket, I like the Seminoles to kind of, knock off a couple teams in a row, maybe win 3 or 4 games. But especially against Vermont, I would look to be on Florida State. But the one thing that has me pumping the brakes, Jimmy, is the location of the game and the travel advantage for Vermont.
Is there, we got to move on. Is there a total that you're looking at on tomorrow's card that we could maybe keep an eye on, market moves within? Is there a total that you like tomorrow?
I mean, 145.5 for an Auburn game is always a little bit low, just if those threes are falling. But again, this is another travel spot where Auburn having to go out to Salt Lake City against New Mexico State, obviously a location advantage for the Aggies. Anytime Bruce Pearl going to look to get up and down the court and launch the threes, if those are falling, I think that total is a little bit short. We saw Belmont just yesterday look really good offensively going against Maryland. I like Belmont as a side, as an underdog of 3, and I think that total is a little short, under 150. Those would be 2 I'm looking at. And anytime your Kentucky's playing a team that is not nearly as talented as them, you got to be looking for them to suffocate Abilene Christian offensively. If you can find a team total on Abilene Christian, I would look to go under. I also like the full game under, the total of 132 under. But anytime you got a team as talented as Kentucky, you got to worry that they go off for 90 plus points, and then that would screw your under. But I would look to be a little bit more safe on Abilene Christian team total under.
Great stuff, man. Is this going to be an exciting week or what? I am so pumped, man. So pumped. Can't wait. And it all really gets going tomorrow morning. So we have a ton of work to do all afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us, Drew. Where can we find you on Twitter? And when else are your shows coming up this week?
Yeah, at Drew Martin Betts on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Feel free to interact anyway. And the show's 9:30 a.m. Eastern and 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time with Maxwell Smart, your boy, my boy. It's going to be a fun time tomorrow. Today's show will be the last afternoon show before we'll have games on, so it'll be a good one to watch. We'll be knocking out as many tournament games as possible, and obviously Maxwell Smart, always entertaining, man. If you need any advice on strippers or kind of things off, lifestyle issues, he's a great person to ask for advice. So I always do. And we'll be breaking down the tournament game. So please join us 4 o'clock Eastern time.
I will be joining you. Absolutely. I'll be joining you again today and all through the tournament. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a packed show today coming up on our late show. We're going to have Jay Money is Money joining us to break down this NBA card. And then we have Maxwell Smart to break down the rest of the college basketball games today and moving forward with the action starting tomorrow morning. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. And then I'll be on King's Court tonight. So a lot of work to do, a lot of action to have. I'm excited. Thank you to all the low baggers joining us in the chat. Thank you for all your great insights and for your laughs. You guys are the reason this show is successful and mean the world to me. So thank you so much for joining us. Other than that, let's get into the study. Let's start this day off with winners and Leche and those bookmakers.